Welcome to Granny's Legacy. Today we're going to share with you about getting started on your Granny Seed Catalog Veggies project. This project features 12 blocks. Each of them is a beautiful illustration of a garden vegetable with some script writing and just unique embroidery. So let's get started. Each month when your project comes, if you're working from our Block of the Month program, this is what you'll be receiving. If you have purchased a complete kit and are viewing this later, each month will have its own unique pattern, but I will show you what you will be working with. So we're going to open up our kit, and this is our month 1 kit. And inside our month 1 kit, you will find your basic block patterns for our beet block. So we're going to set that aside. And also your getting started instructions. And this instruction set features a listing of just the basic notions you will need to complete the project. It also talks about your threads and then about your ultra weft that you will need, backing fabric and stuff like that. And then we move on to the next page and it talks you through cutting your ultra weft. So inside of your first installment, you will have one large piece of ultra weft. This weft is enough to create the pieces you will use each month. So you will be, each month when your block comes in the mail, you'll be fusing a piece of ultra weft to the back of your block. And you can see that we have done that with these. And that just stabilizes your background wool and just makes it beautiful to stitch with. So that you'll be cutting that. And then it also goes on to talk about the block backgrounds. And then also just basic instructions for stitching each block. So each block will not include instructions. It'll all have your templates, but the instructions will be the same for all 12 blocks. And those instructions will be included in the beginning instructions. So it talks about getting started, assembling your blocks, and then finishing your blocks. And then here we also have a list when it comes time for embroidery. This is the list of the threads that we have used, and then also a list of the stitching we have used, and I will show you how that works next. So each month you'll be referring back to these beginning instructions when you work with your block. So we're going to set those aside. So let's get started on our beets. So the cover picture here shows the placement of our transfer shapes. So just like any of our granny shapes, they're reversed. And dashed lines mean another shape will cover that portion of the line. So right down here, this piece has dots. So that means another piece will cover that. So they're reversed and ready for use with fusibles like Heat and Bond Light. And then we also have our embroidery transfer page. And this is the page you'll use when your instructions tell you to transfer the word beets or stuff like that. That's the page you'll be using. And then the stitching detail sheet. And then this sheet has detailed instructions on how to stitch, which embroidery threads we've used, or pearl cottons, excuse me, and which embroidery stitches we have used. So like this one says 14 BS. So that means we've used thread color 14. And BS, if you look up on that sheet, means blanket stitching. So we've used color thread number 14 to blanket stitch around that. A very easy format, easy to follow and clear. And then when you start your block each month, just follow down. Start with number 1 and then move on to 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you will have a beautiful finished block. Just work one step at a time and do exactly what that step does, and you should have no problems at all. When you're done with your block, they will be squaring up to 7 by 9. So when you're all done finishing your block, you can square them up to 7 by 9. The piece included in your kit is slightly bigger than that, which allows a little bit of room for trimming. So you'll square them up to 7 by 9 and they will finish to 6 by 8 once they're pieced together in the quilt. Once you do your stitching, it all depends on how tight together you do your stitches and how tightly you pull your stitches. You may discover that your project shrinked smaller than what you're able to trim it up to 7x9, don't worry. When we get to the end, we will share with you another tutorial on how to make your blocks still work. They will still work, we promise. So thank you for working through that with us. Now we'll talk a little bit about some of the supplies that we have available. So once again, the Ultra Weft that comes with your first block is enough for all of your blocks. You'll only be receiving Ultra Weft the first month. So to complete your blocks, you will need press and seal wrap. And this is just the Glad press and seal wrap you can find by the plastic wrap and tinfoil and baggies at the supermarket. And then also we have a thread kit. Once again, all the threads are listed inside of their pattern too. The threads used are included in the pattern. And then so inside of our thread box, we have some tangle tamers. And then these are just nice to put around your threads to keep them together and prevent them from raveling apart and getting destroyed as they're used. We have a Be Natural Thread-tastic. So you get, if you purchase our thread kit, you can get, it comes in the box with all the threads you'll need, a Be Natural Thread-tastic, and some tangle tamers. We also have available a Notion pack, and this comes in a block box that you can use to keep all of your blocks in and your patterns and stuff as you're working away on your project. And inside of it, we have some of the supplies you'll need. We have an iron away marking pen, and this marking pen is white. It's great for stitching, for marking on medium to dark color wools. So like we've used this to mark the detail on the beets and the carrots and the corn for those stitching lines. It includes a purple air erase marker, and this is great for use on light color wools to medium color wools. And this we've just used for marking, on lighter color wools where the white maybe wouldn't show up as well. And then we have one of our Pressing Affair pressing sheets. Since wool burns and scorches so easily, this is a miracle with wool. When you're ready to fuse your shapes down, you position all your shapes on your background and then cover it with your Pressing Affair. So the Pressing Affair goes between your project and your iron. And then you can use the high heat and the extreme steam to get a really good bond with your fusibles without worrying about the burning and scorching of your wool. So this is an absolute must-have, not only for this project, but for really any wool project. So that is a special size just for the seed catalog blocks. And then we have a pack of our Easy Print light sheets. So this is heat and bond light that you can put through your inkjet computer printer. So when we do our tracings in our pattern, we always make them fit on an 8.5 by 11 sheet, so they fit beautifully on this. So you can just put your tracing sheet in your printer, put a piece of this in your paper slot, press print, and all of your tracings are done for you and are ready to use. We love this stuff. And then we have a pack of wool embroidery needles that are excellent for use on this project. And with Valdani size 12 pearl cottons, they're our favorite needle for that. And then also a blue Sharpie marker. This is used just for doing your, if you're going to hand trace onto your heat and bond or your fusible. And then also we use this to transfer the designs onto our press and seal wrap when we're doing the lettering and layout transfers. So all very handy stuff. These are all supplies. Even if you don't purchase them in the box, these are all supplies we would recommend, and they're all available also individually on our website, grannieslegacypatterns.com. So we hope this has been fun for you to watch as we get you started on your very first seed packet veggies block of the month. So thank you for watching and happy stitching.